What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMA Anomaly Show, aka the MMA Anomaly Podcast. I'm your host, Olin, aka MMA Anomaly. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, we are still running a contest right now for the next 2 to 3 videos. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And of course, the more you comment, the more you'll be entered at random into the contest. The winner will be receiving a piece of MMA Anomaly merch/swag. So make sure you comment, make sure you like, do all the YouTube things. Now, jumping right into this video, we will be going over UFC 279 and the upcoming card. I will be covering the main card and my picks for the main card. So, starting at the bottom of the card, we have Johnny Walker going up against Ion Cutelaba. Some people pronounce his name Ion Cutelaba. Either way, I'm going with that guy. Ion, whatever you want to call him. I call him the Incredible Hulk because half the time when it comes to weigh-ins, the guy shows up painted green and just looking like an absolute rage monster. I mean, breaking it down a little bit further, this one is a really interesting matchup, right? We've got 18-7 going up against 16-7. Very close records. Both men, when they entered the UFC, kind of looked like they may be the next big thing, but kind of had that Icarus effect. They were pushed too fast, too far, and as a result, they kind of got burnt out. However, when you look at their most recent fights and performances, Ion has really shown more improvements than Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker seems to bounce around from camp to camp, doesn't really seem to gain a ton from each camp he goes to, and he also seems to be a little bit chinny. I don't know if maybe he's cutting too much weight, but I mean, I would hate to see the guy go up to heavyweight. Either way, I think Cutelaba should go out there and absolutely dominate this fight. And yes, I did go with the favorite on that one. DraftKings odds are plus 170 for Walker and minus 200 for Cutelaba. Going into the next fight, we've got Irene Aldana at minus 170 going up against Macy Chiasson at plus 145. I personally think that this fight is going to be mostly contested on the feet. And with that being said, if that does end up proving to be the case, Irene Aldana has the better footwork and the better hands. Even though she does have a reach disadvantage, it's a 3.5 inch reach disadvantage, I think she still goes out there and gets it done over Macy Chiasson inside of 2 rounds. In the next fight, we've got Kevin Holland at minus 195 going up against D-Rod Daniel Rodriguez at plus 165. This is a fight that I've called for in one of my previous videos. Now that it's actually coming true, I'm terrified for Kevin Holland. Big Kevin Holland fan, also a big fan of D-Rod, which is why I think this fight makes sense for both men. They're both up-and-comers. Both men, honestly, are down to fight anybody, and that's why I think they should fight each other. I think their skill sets match up very well against each other, but I do think Kevin Holland is the favorite for a reason. That's why I'm picking him. I don't always go with all favorites on my picks. This is one of the very few cards where I actually am. I do feel like the oddsmakers got all of these fights on the main card right. I mean, Kevin Holland has what, a 6-inch reach advantage on him, and as long as he's able to negate the wrestling, which he's proven to have shown leaps and bounds of improvements in his grappling game, if he's able to keep this fight standing, I think he's able to finish it in the first or second round. Jumping into this next fight, the co-main event, it's definitely a little bit more of a discrepancy between the odds here. We have Li Jing Liang, the Leech, at minus 305, coming in against Tony Ferguson, the former boogeyman of the lightweight division, at plus 255 odds. I mean, he was the boogeyman of the lightweight division. As of recently, he's had somewhat of a falling of grace. Do I think that he should retire? Not necessarily. Do I think that he should be fighting the Leech at 170 pounds? Not necessarily. Realistically, do I think Tony Ferguson has a huge chance at winning this fight? No. Do I think that Tony Ferguson has a chance at winning this fight? Absolutely. He's Tony Ferguson. He could go out there and look absolutely incredible and shock the world at 170 pounds. Maybe cutting all that weight is why he was able to get knocked out and why he was gassing so much recently. Maybe he goes out there and absolutely dominates the Leech and makes me look absolutely silly for saying he doesn't stand a huge chance. That's what I love about this sport. That's what makes this sport so much fun. So I can't wait for that fight, but I think Li Jing Liang gets it done. Now, moving into the main event, I got to be honest with you, I'm not super juiced about this fight. We have Nate Diaz coming in at plus 700 against Khamzat Chimaev, aka Boars. which is literally Wolf and Chechen coming in at minus 1050. There's a reason these odds are what they are. Again, do I think Nate Diaz has a chance? Not a ton. However, if for whatever reason this fight doesn't get finished in the first 2 to 2.5 rounds, his chances every second after that 2-minute and 30-second mark of round 3 go up exponentially. Because we all saw what happened to the Wolf in his fight against Gilbert Burns. He started to fade. He started to gas. If that fight had 2 more rounds, he probably would have lost that fight. Very, very likely that he would have lost that fight. So, do I think Nate has a chance? Absolutely. 100%. Do I think it's wise to put a lot of money on him? Not if it's money that you'll be sad to lose. So, am I putting either of these guys on my DraftKings? No, because as a fan of the sport, it really pains me to see Nate Diaz go out like this on his last fight. I would have loved to personally see him fight a legend instead, but it is what it is. Sometimes this sport is cruel. Sometimes the MMA gods are cruel to us. But who knows? Maybe on Saturday, the MMA gods will smile upon us and give us a Nate Diaz Stockton slap followed by a knockout of Khamzat Chimaev. Now, I'm not saying I want to see Khamzat get knocked out. What I'm saying is Nate could use a knockout at this point in his career, and Khamzat, his stock wouldn't necessarily suffer a ton from a knockout from Nate Diaz. So, love to hear your comments below. Let me know what you think of this card coming up, and also let me know what you thought of that UFC Paris card. Again, we do have the contest going on, so make sure that you leave a comment, like, subscribe with notifications on, and I will have a new show / segment coming out, looking to try and do that at least once a month with some of my friends. That is going to be no filter on MMA Anomaly. It'll be on the same channel. I will keep you guys posted on that. Thanks again for the support, and I will see you all next episode. Later.